We are on the main highway. As you can see, people leaving southern Lebanon. There is a mass exodus. You look to your right, you look to your left, smoke. These are Israeli airstrikes.
Israel has launched a barrage of airstrikes across Lebanon, and they've killed more than 490 people and hurt more than 1,000 others. This was the deadliest day of conflict in Lebanon since 2006.
Fearing an outbreak of a larger regional conflict, the Pentagon says it will send additional U.S. troops to the Middle East. Israel says its warplanes struck 1,300 Hezbollah targets, attacking what it says are caches of weapons, including rockets and drones. The IDF claims the weapons are inside residential buildings embedded among civilians. Lebanon's health ministry says 90 women and children were among those killed.
Say Israeli strikes killed nearly 500 people today, including nearly 36 children, and left more than 1,600 wounded.
This is a dramatic escalation. Will this spill into a full-on regional war, a full-on ground war? I think that depends on what Hezbollah does over the next several days. But we're certainly seeing an escalation here, and a war between Hezbollah and Israel is underway, without a doubt.
Understand that the people backing Hezbollah are in fact the Iranians. So this is a fight between good and evil, and between Israel and Iran.
A Hezbollah official says the militant group has entered a new stage of open-ended warfare against Israel.
Israel and Hezbollah are old enemies. Tonight they're in a new war, and the people of Lebanon are caught in the middle.
The strikes came in waves, one after another.
You can see smoke billowing into the air from multiple blasts. The Israeli military warning residents to immediately evacuate homes and other buildings where they say Hezbollah weapons are located.
Israel accuses Hezbollah of storing weaponry in neighborhoods and deliberately endangering civilians.
Now, starting this morning, the IDF has warned you to get out of harm's way. I urge you, take this warning seriously. Don't let Hezbollah endanger your lives and the lives of your loved ones. Don't let Hezbollah endanger Lebanon. Please, get out of harm's way now.
Southern Lebanon awoke to this. It looks like all-out war.
A special state of emergency has just been declared in Israel after days of intense fighting.
This follows an Israeli strike in southern Beirut Friday, which killed a top Hezbollah commander.
In this residential neighborhood in northern Israel, the peace is fleeting.
Hezbollah firing war rockets into Israel after already launching more than 150 over the weekend.
When we heard the explosions, I was a bit fearful, more than usual. We are used to it, but it seems really serious this time.
Fears of a wider war in the region now growing. The Pentagon says the U.S. is sending a small number of additional U.S. military personnel in light of the increased tension.
Tactically, this is a move upwards. This is an escalation of that conflict, which is regional and could become global. So really, this is a conflict with Iran.
It's interesting that Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, today was taunting Israel to invade. Go ahead, invade, because he knows that in many ways that would be a trap.
I think we're already in a wider war, and we have already been in a wider war for a year. There have been attempts to contain it. But as David was saying, once you start a war, and once you start exchanging fire with a group like Hezbollah, where does it end? Iran has already warned of, quote, dangerous consequences for what it called Israel's adventurism into Lebanon. Plus, as you mentioned, the West Bank, where there is a very large and growing problem with the Palestinians who are increasingly leaning toward Hamas, who feel that the settlers in that part of the country are taking advantage of this situation to steal Palestinian land. You have Iran that has attacked Israel. This could escalate very quickly into many fronts.
Derek, this conflict will certainly be a major topic at the UN General Assembly this week.
Absolutely. And on Thursday, I can tell you that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to speak here in New York. President Biden's scheduled to be here on Tuesday. The speech is happening at a precarious moment.
Israel's army chief of staff says it's targeting combat infrastructure that Hezbollah has been building for the past 20 years and preparing for the next phases. But the big question is, those next phases will include a ground invasion. Nora?
There are many questions tonight. Chris Livesay, thank you very much.